Go. We are streaming live, and I'll be playing some music. And here we go.
I'm getting too old for this sort of thing. Oh my God. Yeah. That's your uncle talking.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Night Talk Live. I'm joined on this show by my brother Clown Baby. He's riding shotgun over there. And also, we have on the show, we got Cliff Stanton. He runs mindspiritmusic.com. I met him at the Gates of Light, the Gift of Light psychic fair a few weeks ago. Kind of hit it off. I kind of liked his presentation, and I bought a few of his CDs, his meditation and relaxing CDs. Is at the 432 music that keeps popping up over and over again on this podcast, and I sound like a buffoon when I talk about this stuff. So he's nice enough to join us and maybe to explain what this is about, the benefits of this, and some of the conspiracies maybe behind this sort of tuning. Cliff, thank you for joining the show.
Oh, sure. Mike, thanks for having me, and nice to meet your brother as well.
Nice to meet you.
So, when I met you at the Gift of Light Expo, you had a bunch of CDs laid out in front of you, and I instantly saw 432. I was like, oh, okay, we talked about that on the show. There's been, conspiracies that the Nazis were the ones that actually moved up the tuning from 432 to 440, and there's been a lot of controversy around that. And I was wondering, can you speak to that? Do you know anything about that? Because everything I've read, there's been conflicting sources about where the tuning was actually shifted from and to.
Sure. I don't think there's any validity to that the Nazis were involved. First of all, you can imagine a conductor of an orchestra, how particular they must be, let alone at the time period, in the late 1800s, all the way back. The conductors were literally just, they were strong egos, to say the least. So to be able to convince that group of people to go one way or another they wouldn't have been able to do it. So it was a kind of a conglomerative force that went back and forth between quite a few frequencies over, almost 100-year time period. So it started with a lot of the instrument manufacturers, because different piano manufacturers would tune their pianos to certain tuning forks. As you can imagine, other countries would have different tuning forks. And it started actually with some different composers. Here's a quick reference. Mozart's piano was tuned at 421 hertz. Other composers and orchestras throughout Central Europe were tuned higher, 440, 446. So it was very hard for musicians to travel or to do music, because you can imagine music at a higher pitch. If you spun a record faster, your song's going to sound completely different.
Sounds like the Chipmunks. So, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. And even a subtle change can affect what's called overtones or harmonics in music. So it would completely change the mathematical relationship of each piece. One reason Mozart liked the lower frequency of 421 hertz, his pianos were always at that range, was it's more a relaxed frequency. So, and let's just give a quick reference. I know probably you do as well as some of your guests, but a hertz is just when you speak or an instrument plays, you propagate a wave, kind of like in water when you throw a stone in. So each wave has a peak and then a trough. That's one waveform, or what they call a hertz. So, and also called cycle per second. So 440 hertz, which is what most of the world tunes instruments to now, is an A note tuning around that. So the A is 440 hertz or 440 wavelengths per second.
See, this is smart, and I need to know this because a few weeks ago I sounded like a complete moron by getting sample rates confused with the actual hertz. And when you throw around so many numbers, I get confused sometimes, so thanks for explaining this.
Yeah, and we sample at 44,100 hertz, which is a standard CD. And most guys that record will record higher resolution on that, and then what they call truncate, which is mathematically reduce that amount of data down so it can be played on a CD. I record, and it's also 16-bit resolution. So quick reference for resolution real quick. If you measure a room with a yardstick, you're going to get 2.5 yardsticks approximately. If you measure it with small pencils, you're going to get a lot more accuracy.
I need a lot of pencils too.
Yeah. So when you're recording, if you record in 16-bit resolution, if you record in 24-bit resolution, or even up 96-bit resolution, you're getting a lot more data, kind of like the pixels on your camera. Okay.
Well, yeah. Thank you for explaining that in terms that I can easily understand. Try to speak to the lowest common denominator here, and because of me, I don't really understand a lot of things all the time.
Well, acoustical engineering, literally, even doctorates that hold a degree in this are discovering things all the time. So it's one of those fields where it's never ending. So you can never be too smart or too dumb.
I started listening to your CDs this past weekend, and I was wondering, do you write your own music and engineer your own music?
Yeah, I'm an audio engineer. That is my Tellurian, which was at the Gift of Light Expo, is my third CD. My first CD was called Namaste, which are 2 tracks, about 15 minutes in length. And those use recording phase and delay techniques where it tricks your brain. So if you're using headphones, kind of like binaural beats, if your guests have heard of that. So what it does, it tricks the hemispheres with a phase delay and a time delay, and it makes both hemispheres of your brain fire. So it's what they call brain entrainment, and it can actually help you to learn to use both hemispheres of your brain at the same time. Most of us are either left brain people, which are artistic, or right brain, which are mathematical. But music can actually help you to fire both at the same time. We're all using both hemispheres at the same time, but when you go into specific areas, it goes into specific regions of the brain.
And I wrote you this email when I was trying to import some of your tracks so that I could put them onto my phone on your first CD that I have up on screen right now, 432 hertz relaxation and meditation music. When I was importing that second track, it only imported 4 minutes and 44 sequences of it.
That's why.
I've been paying attention to a lot more like numerology and numbers in my life, angel numbers, sequences of 3 numbers, even 4 or 5 when they stack up. And I was talking about this to my girlfriend. We're like, hey, we should do this. We should listen to this. And then sure enough, when I tried to import it, I got that number. I was like, how poignant. How poignant that we were talking about it, and it only imported that amount. So I took that as a sign to listen to it, and we did. And I got to say, there's that constant when you listen to it. It's if you're not used to listening to this type of sound or soundscape or music, it can be initially a little off-putting, then immediately relaxing because there's a constant, I would almost say, anchor of a tone, and you have melodies that dance around that anchor.
Yeah, that's the 432 was more of an advanced meditation CD, and the tracks on there, they start with a little intro music with a straight 432 hertz sine wave, which is just a basic tone. But when a lot of times people will search on the internet, on YouTube especially, and they'll gather a specific frequency that they're looking to, albeit 432. Some of the chakra frequencies, or maybe 528, which is kind of hot right now. And then they'll just have a straight tone, and that's so sterile. It's just so uncomfortable. And a lot of people that haven't heard sine waves before, it's an unnatural tone. So I layered synthesizers around that as well, and then recorded in 432 as well, the whole album. And I used recording techniques just for fun. with golden ratios and part of the Fibonacci sequence, which is a mathematical sequence.
I find that fascinating as well. The band Tool uses a lot of polyrhythms and Fibonacci sequences. I found that it's mind-boggling to me that drummers can actually do that in real time and live. It's bizarre to me.
Oh yeah, there's so many labels and artists that are using these natural frequencies now, and it's just not a fad. It's becoming a reality. And here in Columbus, Ohio, most of the acoustic players that play out, I've been on forums with them. They're all tuning to 432 hertz, so their A note on their guitar is at 432 hertz.
Huh.
It just brings the tone down a little bit. And there's so many correlations within nature too. I recommend to your viewers that they get a chance. There's a video out there on YouTube called the Fibonacci video, and it explains the mathematical correlations with the Fibonacci mathematical sequence, which virtually is just an addition sequence that adds the previous number to the next number. So, and that's the way nature works. So that's the way the seeds of a sunflower are replicated. If you go into your garden this spring, look at a plant that's growing, and you'll see the leaves that break off and, start low at the stem. There'll be one, there'll be two, there'll be three, there'll be five, there'll be 8 leaves. And that's actually a Fibonacci sequence. So the plants are using that mathematical sequence for their development.
Why initially did you start down this path of creating music in 432, and how did you discover this, and what led you down this road?
Well, I've been a performing musician, and I'm a studio vocalist. I've recorded in more than 24 studios across the country, so I've been around a lot of good engineers and learned a lot of things. And I came across 432. I have a hobby, albeit I'm fairly ignorant at it because I don't know the advanced mathematics, but quantum mechanics has been a hobby of mine for quite a while. I read all the books.
It's a hell of a hobby you got.
Well, I just don't have, the advanced mathematics degree that you need to really apply yourself to anything in that field. But I'm fascinated by it, and I've always felt musically someday that we'll be able to tie what's called the resonation of matter. Everything vibrates. Every form of matter vibrates. Everything that exists has its own frequency resonation, just like when a singer breaks a wine glass with his voice. In fact, my buddy Jamie Bandera, who I take vocal lessons off of for my performing musician aspect of my life, he's the one on Mythbusters who broke the wine glass with his voice. Now, the way he did that, he tapped the glass with his fingernail and heard the tone that comes off of that. Then he matches that tone with his voice. And that resonance of those exact frequencies together build up and create a resonance that eventually shatters the glass. It can drop a bridge, it can crack windows on a building, so engineers are always dealing with resonance in their construction as well. So with everything vibrating like that, I kind of had the fantasy of, I know someday we're going to be able to heal with sound, with sonic devices like Star Trek did or whatever, but it's actually coming to fruition now, just like they have lasers now that will vaporize only the scar tissue of a burn and not damage the skin tissue. We're developing techniques now with sound as well that is going to lead us to the healing aspects in the medical field, as well as, gosh, I've even done work as far as some ideologies that I have that will be able to spray rapid set mediums through the air and blast them with sound. And the sound waves, what they call the nodes or standing waves, will create a lattice work and harden instantly. So you could virtually build a bridge just with sound and a rapid set like polyurethane foam, some type of material, of course, a stronger polymer than that. But that just gives you an idea of the potential that's available.
That's insanity, but yeah. That's where it's at. Are you familiar with the Cuban embassy sonic attack that happened a few months ago?
I am actually.
Do you have any theory? There's one theory that it is counteracting ultrasonic sounds that caused damage and brain hemorrhage to people and internal organ damage. Do you have any theories about what happened?
Yeah, absolutely. It was, in my opinion, it was definitely a sonic attack. Humans are primitive. We hear from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So 20 waves per second, which is a very large waveform. It goes really high. And that's why a lot of times when people drive by playing hip hop, you hear the loud bass, but they don't hear that as much in the car because the waves take so long to propagate because they're so big. Now, we hear 20 to 20,000 hertz, and most people don't even hear at the outer edges of those ranges. But, we have radio waves going up in just millions of hertz, and then we have subsonic frequencies that are lower that, like elephants communicate about 9 hertz. They can communicate up to 90 miles away to each other by vibrating their sinuses. So we don't hear a lot of that spectrum. Just like light, we see a small wavelength of light. And there's so much vast light in the infrared and ultraviolet on both ends of the spectrum that we don't see. Now, my opinion, they were bombarding with high frequencies, which were more ultrasound frequencies, probably. And almost like a microwave beam, it was disrupting the viscous or the water molecules, so to speak, within the people. And I think that through, I don't know the parameters of their psychotic dementia of creating these weapons, but I can definitely see how they could do that from some distance away. And it would go right through walls or anything because it's such a high frequency, just like a radio signal.
It's insane to think that this is science fiction stuff. And it's being used.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Clown Babe. Go ahead.
What kind of damage could that do to someone, like a human?
Irreparable. What it does is, well, just like the microwave. The microwave is a high. It's a high radio wave, and high frequency radio wave. And what it does, it vibrates the water molecules in any medium that you put in the microwave. So those water molecules vibrating create the heat. So just like a hot air balloon, the heated air bounces around, and that causes it to have more space in between. That's why a hot air balloon rises. Now with the ultrasound, just like they can see in for to scan a fetus or to go deep tissue, anti-inflammatory uses for like sports medicine, things like that. So with specific frequencies dialing in, I can only imagine what they've come across that disrupts. It could be disrupting on a molecular level, on a quantum level. It could be disrupting the DNA helix itself. So it's just evil, nasty stuff. And unfortunately, those brilliant minds are doing stuff like that instead of the opposite end of the spectrum.
Well, and then they also have this technology where they have ultra-focused directional sound that they can basically beam sound into your head. So it's almost like telepathic in nature. Do you know how that works?
I'm not real familiar with that. I am familiar with like the headphones that work on the back of the head rather than the ear.
Does that vibrate the eardrum?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, your ear brings the sounds, focuses the sounds into your cochlea. And the cochlea is a spiral, almost like a nautilus shell, like a seashell that spirals round and round. And there's a specific purpose for the shape of the cochlea. It actually eliminates overlapping frequencies, what they call standing nodes, where certain frequencies, if you have a trough, which is the upper part of the wave, the lower part of the wave, and then a peak, the upper part of the wave, sometimes those cross over and meet at the same point. And it can actually, a phase inversion is where one trough is on top of the bottom of the trough from a reflection. And actually can cancel out sound. That's the way noise cancellation headphones work for airplanes and stuff. Now, the military's used throat microphones for a long time, that press into the throat itself. Ah. So your ear is not necessary for sounds. And cochlear implants for people that are hearing impaired, that device goes on the head itself. And goes more into the neurological system between the cochlea and the brain. So when we get to the more metaphysical side, meditation and relaxation, do you use this music, your own music, for meditative purposes? Oh, absolutely. Nearly every day.
Every day. And do you go into any sort of astral projection realm or out of body experiences with this kind of use?
I use mine for more of stress relief and for relaxation to get me to a certain level. I don't try to push forward all the time because, you know, a busy life makes it difficult. And you know, His Holiness the Dalai Lama meditates many times a day, and other people at that range, they ascend further and further and further into meditation. And I find myself comfortable at several levels of meditation, so I tend to stay in those realms. And I also use my meditation, especially the new CD that I have that's called Tellurian. It has 4 tracks, and each one's a little bit different. The way it's more of a sonic journey than a straight meditation. But it helps to relax physiologically as well. And with the recording techniques that I do, being an audio engineer, as well as I studied classical piano for years and years, and I have a whole slew of synthesizers, and I play about every instrument you can imagine. But with this recording techniques, I use phase techniques and panning techniques and cross pan techniques with specific instruments, and I'm bringing certain frequencies in and out of each different instrument at the same time. So it's more than just a cool 70s pan to the left or pan to the right with the bongo drums. You know, it's more a 3-dimensional basis of that.
So you're an audio guy. Did you grow up listening to rock and roll and maybe even some heavy metal at times?
Well, I'm actually I grew up pretty heavy, pretty heavy stuff. You know, I like all forms of music. I was classically trained as a pianist. But I grew up liking the hard stuff, Judas Priest and Black Sabbath and stuff like that. And I also, you know, on my radio in my truck, I have a classical station, jazz station, bluegrass, several metal stations, some classic rock, pop, everything. I just dig it all.
Oh, the reason why I bring it up, I wasn't sure if you're familiar with the mysterious death of the Iron Butterfly bassist, Philip Taylor Kramer.
I'm not actually.
Well, I'll bring it up on screen for anybody who doesn't know. The basis of Iron Butterfly was also into some interesting stuff, such as like quantum mechanics, and was researching some very advanced technology. He joined Iron Butterfly in 1974, and he
was electrocuted, right?
Well, in 1995. He went missing, and they found him in his car at the bottom of a ravine. But before then, he said he called his then old friend, bandmate from Iron Butterfly, Ron Bushy. He said, "Hey, Bushy, it's Taylor. I love you more than life itself." And then he hung up the phone. But he also made another call to his wife and says, "Whatever happens, I'll be with you." And there have been reports that he was working on some cool technology, and it was something that was going to change the world, and he just wound up dead. And I just wondered if you knew anything about this.
No, I don't. I was a big Iron Butterfly fan, you know, back in the In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida days, but I've never heard anything into that. But I'll research that. You know, I enjoy doing research, and you know, whenever I hear a new topic or something that's popular at the light shows or whatever, I'll go and research that quite a bit. You know, unfortunately, though, and I'm sure you come across this and your guests come across this, there's so much out there that is just, it's not the real stuff. It's just copy-paste stuff, and it's speculation. And there's enough real data if you go back 15, 20 pages on a Google search that none of us have the patience to do. You can find the true answers on that. But when you see stuff just propagated, you know, through copy paste all the time, and there's no scientific data to back it up, or if you don't see any frequency charts or anything like that, you're probably not going to be getting the real information.
Well, I gotta say, I speculate a lot because it's fun to do.
Oh, yeah.
And if there's real data somewhere, I love to look at it, but it's also fun to talk about UFOs where there's no actual physical data. Sometimes you just kind of got to make shit up and have fun with the conversation.
Yeah. I was doing a radio show with Star Fuentes, and we were talking about she asked me a question, what would alien music sound like? And we started laughing and got kind of serious. And I said, what if one of their songs is all of our music all at once? And she goes, yeah, throughout history in one note, So the possibilities are endless with it, and it's always good to think outside the box,
Yeah, they're fun conversations to have, and they're harder to to actually. I would love to hear some alien music, and I that's why I'm always fascinated when when there's a science fiction show. And there's some kind of alien culture, be it the cantina scene from Star Wars or even in Star Trek Next Generation. They have to hire some kind of composer to make them, at least have them ask, like, hey, can you make something that's doesn't sound Earth-like in some way? And it's unique to see what they come up with, or it's interesting to see what they come up with.
I can't remember if it's a fifth or sixth element with Bruce Willis when the girl's singing the opera.
Yeah.
Bouncing all around, just such cool stuff. But, when we speak, the waveforms are propagating through air and other mediums. A lot of people don't realize this, but sound waves actually travel faster in some things like steel and even through the ground sometimes than through the air. But imagine an alien species where their environment is different from the gases on our planet, or possibly even a fluid environment. So if you can imagine music that's propagated through a different medium like that, it's just incredible what you can kind of fantasize about.
It doesn't sound travel like 5 to 6 times faster in the water, and it's just
it all depends on the medium, the density of the medium, interference, how waves are bouncing back and forth from each other. So it travels faster, and mostly it's slower in the air environment, and it's approximately 750 miles an hour is what sound travels, and it's affected by temperature and air density and everything. So a lot of variables there. That's why you never hear an actual specific reference for the speed of sound.
As an audio engineer, have you ever looked into the JFK recording of whether there was 4 shots or 5 shots recorded from a policeman's walkie-talkie?
I have actually, and I on that so-called conspiracy theory, I'm a firm believer that there were multiple shooters on that, or possibly that the one Secret Service agent discharged his weapon by mistake. But I'm an outdoorsman too, and I know that you don't shoot a bullet one direction and the recoil from hitting a body blows out the other side of it. The backward side of it. It goes out the other side, the concussion. So I have serious doubts about all that.
Well, just with the recent JFK files that were released, there's a lot of talk about it. Kennedy wasn't making any friends, and I've actually been down to Dealey Plaza, and it's a doable shot. But I'm with you. I think they had multiple people there. And if one sniper didn't get the job done, there were 1 or 2 others that would have.
Yeah. And, with the technology nowadays, when I record, I look at the waveforms after I record. I'm working with one artist now, and she's doing metaphysical channeling singing. It's fascinating stuff. And when we look at the waveforms, it's just fascinating what you can see in the digital format. I can go down to 1/2500th of a second. So I'm seeing what's happening on the wave aspect of it, 1/2500th of a second. So I can see virtually everything that's audible. Most of the time when we're speaking here now, our voices are actually clicking, and it's faster than our brain, kind of like on a movie when it's going, 23 frames a second or whatever. It's tricking our brain with still pictures. Sound is the same way as that as well. So,
yeah, it is amazing the software that's available. I record in just like GarageBand and Logic Pro. I've done Pro Tools at times,
sure.
And it's overwhelming with the amount of options you have at a certain point. What do you typically when you start a session and people are asking, like, are you on Pandora or is your music only purchasable on your website?
Actually, my music is for sale on CD Baby. That's my main source.
Okay.
And I recommend that mostly to people because I'm available on iTunes as well, Spotify. Most music avenues. You can search my music. A lot of times you have to put my name in there as well. sometimes through Mind Spirit Music. But iTunes, if you Google Cliff Stanton, my stuff will come up. But CD Baby, iTunes, especially internationally, it's cool that I see that I'm getting CD sales from around the world. But everybody takes a chunk now. So every region takes a chunk of the artist revenue, and by the time it gets back to the artist, it's pretty slim pickings.
Yeah,
so,
there's actually a link for his website in the description of this video, so check it out. And it's well laid out, and you can purchase right there. What I was going to ask, what software do you use to record? I
actually use Ableton Live, which is an Avid product, who makes Pro Tools. So it's more of it started out as a performance software for musicians, and a lot of the musicians on tour will use Ableton and then come back into the studios and dump it directly into Pro Tools. But it's very intuitive, and I can do most of the time you're recording in a linear fashion, so your waveforms come across. Ableton has a second format, which is called clips. So I can actually do multiple takes and keep them all. I don't have to record over any one. So I can do 20 takes and then find the best one that's matching with specific tonal overtones or harmonics that are coming into my piece. So I used it for years. I just love it.
Wow, infinite possibilities right there. The phone number is 614-388-9109. We're going to be winding down this segment with Cliff. We'll take maybe one or two phone calls depending on the
quality
and or quantity. So, I'd love to have you back on. I'd love to have you back on just to talk about music and some other conspiracy stuff. Given time in your busy schedule.
I'm a performing musician as well, and I travel around, and I just dig music in general. So I love talking shop and the physics of it as well. So.
What is the biggest place you've played or performed?
Well, last weekend I played the Ohio Theater up in Lima, Ohio. We had about 1,000 people there.
That's no joke. You get nervous?
No. You know what I get nervous about are the logistics of getting the equipment set up, the lighting, and all that stuff. And professionally, I'm a vocalist. So I play multiple instruments, but in the bands I'm in, I just do vocals. So I'm worried about getting there and all the equipment's functioning, or just getting to the gig sometimes, But I play festivals and fairs all over the place too. So
you're used to playing in front of hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Okay.
If not thousands.
Oh my Lord. I played in front of maybe a couple hundred here and there in my heavy metal band. I dress up like a Viking sometimes and play.
There's always those 15 gigs that you have every once in a while.
Oh boy, I spent years in the bars playing to 10 people on a Tuesday night. Fun, but still, it's a whole different realm.
The same as if there was 1,000 people there, right? Because you are a devoted musician, so you're still performing at the top of your ability. That's what's cool about music.
Well, the top of my ability after about 5 shots, whatever that might do. Yes, I can do that.
There's that median you have to have. You have to have a little start, but not too much. So you got to maintain that middle line,
Yeah, I totally agree. That was always my difficulty, is finding my happy medium while performing live. Well, I guess we're not getting any calls right now. There's our listeners are they're assholes, quite frankly. So I want to thank you. What's that?
I won't take any bashing that way. So
they're fine. They know I love them. Thank you for your time, Cliff. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I'll send you an email. We'll hopefully link up again and get another chance to talk.
Yeah, nice to see you. So throw my website out there, and then tell people on iTunes as well. So thanks.
Mindspiritmusic.com. That's Cliff Stanton. Take a listen to his stuff. All right, thank
you.
And
iTunes, Cliff Stanton. Just Google that, and CD Baby. You can get that right off my website too. So.
All right, thanks, man. Nice talking to you.
All right, have a good one.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, there he goes. I'm going to actually, we actually do have a caller right when he left.
Of course.
Oh, there you go. Mr. Teddy Spaghetti, you are there.
Hey, man, I didn't even know the phone lines was open. I wasn't trying to be an asshole, my friend.
That's all right.
All right.
Did I miss them?
Yeah, you missed Cliff.
You fucked up big time.
You just missed them, but that's okay.
Oh, that's shitty.
I'll be happy to answer on his behalf by just making up a bunch of
I was
stuff.
going to ask him if he thought there was any type of acoustic absorbing armor defense that might help protect against sonic attacks from the Cubans.
Oh boy, I guess you can walk around wearing those eggshell stuff that you can hang on walls. Yeah, you can walk around wearing bed foam.
Soundproofing?
Yeah, or wear a mattress. That works too.
Yeah, damn it. And I was also going to ask him about the brown noise. What is
the brown noise? Jesus Christ.
Damn it.
The shampoo.
There's we got
I really didn't know the phone lines was open. I thought you were riffing with this guy, so I didn't try to call in because I didn't want to be a jackass.
No.
But I had these two questions burning in my heart, and man, I screwed the booch. Man.
Jesus Christ.
Excuse me.
Totally forgot about the brown note and sound armor. Well, for next time, we'll have to ask. I'm gonna write down all these notes. We'll ask him about the shit note and sound armor. Good question.
Yeah, you had a bit. I just,
That's all
I'm
right.
kicking myself. That's all I have. What else are we talking about tonight, fellas?
We just wound down with him. I do have a pretty good story on the new Area 51 in Antarctica.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I do want to point out, Mike. There was a comment in the chat that was pretty good. It said Mike's really moved on from 10 people on a Tuesday night. Now he streams to 25 people on a Monday night.
That is absolutely true.
Well, you
Got
want
to celebrate all those victories.
Hey, look, every little person, every person counts who listens to this show. You got that?
Hey, it's 25 more than listening to me right now, man.
Well,
shit. And I'm contributing, so shit. You know, you gotta promote that shit. I'm telling my friends, but I'm lonely, so I only have like 3.
well, you're probably just talking to yourself, really, aren't you? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not, aware of all my alters, but yeah, kind of.
Well, I appreciate anybody who communicates to their friends, tells them about all the wonderful work we're doing here at OBDM Podcasts.
Yeah,
I appreciate
world's first exposing that size of Bigfoot dick. Still trying to figure that one out. Did you ever show Joe that gift that I told you all about that one day of the movies where it showed like a little teaser, even though it was fake? It was still an interpretation.
I don't remember. If you're in the Slack chat, post it there or send it again. I'll send it on to Joe. I'll send it on to Joe.
Yeah, I'll have to do something about that. All right, Mike, I'm going to get off the phone here.
That's all right, Teddy.
I'm still kicking myself, man.
That's all right.
That brown
Look,
note was such a good question.
I think we're on a minute delay. So I think that partly could be my fault. It could be YouTube's fault. I don't know. But I appreciate your call. Thank you for trying to spread the word.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
All right. Bye,
you
buddy.
know, as they say,
Don't worry.
Yep. Don't worry. All right. Bye, Teddy.
All right, I won't. Y'all take it easy.
There he goes.
Do it.
Where's
Oh.
my sound disappeared?
yeah, we forgot about the shit note.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, thank you for your call.
There we go.
He seemed a bit professional to ask about the shit note. But,
Yeah.
mine's let a caller fall on that sword,
Yeah, that's where we need to call us to ask those tough questions. And but yeah, I forgot about the shit note, but I did bring up the cube and sonic attack. I thought that was relevant.
Yeah.
We were asked relevant questions that apply to audio engineering. I thought we did an okay job there.
Oh, yeah. No, that was good.
Yeah, it
F your family.
yes. And we'll move on. We'll travel on with the Area 51 and Antarctica. Here we go.
I'm having chest pain.
Oh, yes. We're all having chest pains, aren't we? Yes, we are. And let me bring this up on screen for everyone, please. And I wonder if it's just immediately going to start running an ad. It probably it might.
I guarantee you.
I hope it does. I love ads. It's the dailystar.uk. So it very well could. And I think they're going to have some kind of robotic voice talking. So there it is. It's up on screen. And inside Antarctica's Area 51.
Now this new news
Yeah,
coming
hear that?
in from the news hub.
And they're playing it already. I'm just trying to read this thing right here. Astonishing footage has emerged from the inside of the top secret government lab in Antarctica, known as Arrival Heights. Is this why John Kerry went over there and so many other people to check this out?
I would imagine, They'd probably know about it. You'd think the Secretary of State would.
Yeah, you want to go check out the new lab. Hey, I'm going to go to Arrival Heights. I'm going to take a spa, get a foot rub at the military base at Area 51. The base
jerked off by Bleep Bloop.
Yeah, get jerked off by an alien, have a nap, and then go back to the States. The base, located deep in the South Pole mountain range, is known as the Specialty Protected Area, ASPA, or Area 122. And the grounds are locked down tight by military that patrol the site 24/7, and only those with official security clearance are able to visit. No shit. The building is described as a strange-looking orb resembling a disco ball on top of the rocky hills. And there's some photos on this site, but I'm not sure where this dancing orb is.
Is that one of the belts that the people wear there?
I don't know. Mystery surrounds the site, which is operated by the United States Antarctic Program in Antarctic, New Zealand. But an exclusive investigation into what hides inside the fascinating structure, New Zealand-based publication News Hub uncovered an amazing find. Within, they found a green painted lab filled with old technology. How?
It's painted prison green, but apparently it's full of new technology.
There does appear to be something like a large hill or a mound there, and that disco ball, that looks like Epcot Center in Disneyland.
But if it was a disco, actually, you mean that dome over there?
I think
I have. Middle, you see the middle left.
Yeah,
yeah. I believe isn't that a radar dome?
This very well could be a radar.
The clear
dome.
thing, not the clear thing, but the other thing to the right of it.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it looks like Epcot Center. Journalist Brennan, whatever, revealed that the team have to impose an "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" rule due to their scheduled location or secluded location. She said, "These clunky computers are older than I am, but they work. They interface with their interfaces are basic as they come up instead." God, this fucking screen keeps moving because of ads, clown baby.
Sorry. If only there was some kind of browser extension you could
if only
use to block ads.
So why is this called the Area 51 of Antarctica? That's what I want to know. Why is this the Area 51 of Antarctica? Like, Area 51 tests super secret aircraft. The U-2 spy plane came out of there. The TSRB-3 or TSRB-3 or TR-3B rumored to be out of there. Project Orion. Everything. So what is this lab generating down there in Antarctica?
I don't know, but there's a picture of some kind of other insect. Or not insect, a worm.
Bullshit. This is a bullshit lab. This is just some kind of conclave for the rich to escape to. This is some kind of Nazi UFO base.
Probably a weather monitoring station.
Ah, maybe.
Full of aliens. Staffed by
now
aliens.
That I like. Bill, go ahead.
Oh, hey, this Area 51 that you're talking about here. I thought there was a new Area 51 that's the Dugway Proving Ground in Utah.
Well, is that true? Is that Area 52?
I don't know. They keep changing it now. It's like everyone knows about Area 51, so we got to make a new place.
That was a rumor.
Guess, Utah doesn't sound exotic, but, Antarctica, ooh, that's kind of a bad guy-based thing.
It is very Cobra Commander-esque. I don't know how they would be able to test any aircraft, and I'm assuming that they're not down there, so it's not what we would think what would be going on at a secret military base like Area 51, where it's all aircraft related. This is probably deep underground alien hybrid stuff. If there's any shenanigans like that going on, we don't know.
Well, there probably are. Yes, I think so.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
spending a lot of money to get down there. What's going on, Bill?
Well, that girl, I've been talking to her. That called in. She's kinky and she's kind of up for me to go and meet her. And my girlfriend said, it's pretty cool. You can go and meet her if you want, MEAT, if you will. And I'm gonna maybe go and fuck a fan next week.
Are you? Your girlfriend said go meet her.
So
like the sausage.
Well, yeah, but she thinks it's all gonna fall apart and blow up in my face and
Well,
all
yeah.
that kind of thing. She thinks it's gonna be a guy.
So
you're gonna get catfish and you get fucked in the ass, probably.
So the girl who called in last week,
yes,
is who was into you by somehow. She was infatuated with you, wanted to meet you, and you told your girlfriend about this, and your girlfriend is okay with you going to meet this fan of yours.
Yeah, well, I convinced her. I said, "Hey, can I go and bang this chick out? See if she actually does smell like chicken down there, or what have you?"
It's bullshit.
And she says, "Yeah, fine if you want, but it's gonna blow up in your face." And I'm willing to take that chance.
I know.
Bill.
Yeah.
I don't. Would I?
Yeah.
Is it? How much is a flight over there to the UK?
I don't know. It doesn't matter because I'm rolling on Bitcoin.
Oh, you're a Bitcoin boy.
$2.40 a pound. Big time.
$2.40 a pound. That's a lot of. I don't know if you can afford that. I can't even afford that. Jesus.
Yeah, it's a decent price for a flight,
Yeah.
actually.
So are you? When are you going? And will you call in from the UK to let us know if you've been
I'm going
dead?
to be there on Monday, so I'm going to call into the show next Monday, to tell you what's up and tell you if you actually smell like chicken down there.
If you're dead, call into the show and let us know. If you're alive, call in and let us know you're alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Chicken.
All right, Bill. I don't know where this is going, but we look forward to your phone call.
I'll report in.
Thank you. Boosting the ground, all
Have
right?
a good one. Come, baby. Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Hello?
There he goes.
Yeah. Bill is gonna go get raped by a Russian man. Okay.
Something's going on there. If Bill's serious, don't trust it. Okay? That's a long ways to go.
Long ways to fly to get catfished.
It's 614-388-9109. Calling with your favorite catfishing story that just happened.
Yeah, call him with your catfishing tale.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. And this Antarctica's Area 51, I don't know. There's too many ads on this page for me to decide either way what's going on. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air right now.
Hey guys, long time caller, first time listener. Maybe I'm late to the party on this because I YouTubed it and I saw that this feature has been available for like a couple months, like 6 or 7 months, I guess. But I just picked up a new Samsung S8 Active because I broke my phone. And anyway, I just set my alarms because it was like during the day. It wasn't like to wake me up. I just set an alarm so I would know when it was like an hour before I had to do something, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I won't, once the alarm goes off, I was in the middle of doing something, so I didn't just reach over and kill it immediately, right? And so it, at first it plays the little song for 5 seconds, whatever, and then it goes, news. Now we provide news from Google, and then it just starts spewing this fucking media that's just straight liberal media. I mean, basically they're just taking CNN articles and they just start reading me news. That's the alarm, the default alarm on the phone.
That's fucking insane.
Toilet time Terry.
Yeah, that's something you pay for, through an app to. But they're saying this is a feature. Hey, after your buzzer, we're just gonna give you all the mainstream news.
Yeah, it's just we're gonna tell you what to do. But here's the thing: is I would understand if I set it up that way. But literally, I just I just literally opened my clock app and then just hit alarm, made it for 4:30, and then just went to town on whatever I was doing. I didn't set it up to do that. It just it tells you the weather. It says 86 degrees. And then it just says, just starts reading the news, and it's Stormy Daniel tells 5 reasons why the Trump, and then the next one's
I got a
Trump
story
doesn't
about
hire 2 lawyers for his team. And you're and then the next one was that dyke from Florida, and remember I called in and told you guys they're about to be coming after Florida, and look what's happening. But anyway, but he goes, far right media attack, whatever that dyke's name is. for her political views on gun issues or something like that. I don't know, man. It's just crazy to me, you know.
It's
then this is one more thing. Whenever I was setting up my phone, like I have a password on my phone. Yeah, I put like the draw the pattern password. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, so I went to set it up. I still haven't even set up all my apps and shit. I've only had it for like 5 days. But anyway, so I go into my settings, just like put a password lock on my phone, and then I start going through. And then actually, I'm gonna read the options real fast. It goes lock and security. It goes screen lock type, pattern, facial recognition, fingerprint scanner, iris scanner.
Get them all.
So
get them all.
My phone can now scan my irises to unlock it.
We got a brand new phone. I mean, the iPhone X is the same way. Yeah, this is the new way.
No, I wish that I wouldn't have already broke the screen because I'd take it back. But I don't know. That's just crazy to me, man. They're just gonna spew propaganda news at me and read my irises and fingerprints, you know?
Yeah, it's happening.
Fuck a lot of that.
Well, hey, man, thank you for your phone call. I'm gonna move on. We're gonna wind down the show here real soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right, bye.
Fucking
All right,
shit.
I got an article.
All right,
real quick. So apparently they did this thing about 60 Minutes from the Stormy Daniels porn star that apparently had an affair with Trump, right?
Yes.
So this is Stormy Daniels, Donald Trump, and Shark Week. He made me sit and watch.
Donald Trump made Stormy Daniels watch Shark Week?
Let me just read like the first, there's like 5 sentences or so. Stormy Daniels says that when she knocked at Donald Trump's private bungalow at Beverly Hills Hotel in July 2007, she found the celebrity apprentice figure already engaged. Too busy to talk business or jump into what the adult film star would later describe as extramarital sex, everything had to wait. Trump was glued, like millions of others in 70 countries, to television. I remember arriving. He was watching Shark Week. Daniels told Anderson Cooper in an interview. He made me sit there and watch an entire documentary about shark attacks.
Nice. This is foreplay or something?
I don't know, but that's awesome. No, we're gonna do it. We're gonna watch the sharks. All right.
No, we're gonna watch all the sharks. Come on.
We had the best sharks, people.
Got the best sharks. We're gonna watch. These are American sharks, okay?
Look at that American shark, bud.
Check out the size of that shark. It's like at least 2 feet long.
2? Maybe 4?
Exactly. I actually have audio of the interview if you want to hear it.
Chinese sharks are biting people at American beaches. We can't have this. Sure.
I think I got this. Let's see here. It's I'm gonna try to play this audio if I can.
He made me sit and watch an entire documentary about shark attacks.
It wasn't at that point a business meeting. It was just watching Shark Week.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Here we go.
Like the great white, a tiger shark's upper jaws are not attached to the skull. So when the shark is ready to bite, it can push its jaw forward to grab as much food.
And it only makes common sense.
The fastest swimmers on the planet, except for one.
That was the shark.
I traveled 30 hours to South Africa. I prepared for hours in the open water.
It's just going to play on and on and on. I guess Trump has a shark fetish, at least with porn stars. Hey, Joe, you joined the show right at the end here.
Yeah, well, the Shark Week thing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So, but I don't remember if we were ever able to verify whether or not the Gorilla Channel thing, was that a joke too?
I believe that was confirmed to be fake.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot that he ordered his staff to get him the Gorilla Channel, whatever that may be.
The Shark Channel, the Gorilla Channel.
I mean, he watches when he's not watching the gorillas fight. Because that was the story then. It was like he only wants to see the gorillas fighting. He doesn't want to see them having sex or finding food. He just wants to see the
gorilla blood sports.
And now he watches Shark Week.
With porn stars. That's what he wants to do. This is our...
Get out of the bed. We're watching Shark Week.
This is our commander-in-chief.
So no matter what you think about Republicans or Trump or whatever, I mean, if you can't laugh at this shit, holy God, dude, that is just insane. I had not heard the Shark Week.
It's great. This is the best bit of news. I should ask Cliff about this, see if he's in the Shark Week, too.
Well, and so Ann Coulter had a tweet. I'll add this little thing as you guys are winding down, and then I'll drop off because I just want to hear you guys go on about something that was shared in the Slack earlier. But Ann Coulter was saying that, well, Stormy Daniels claimed that, Trump and her only had sex once, and Ann Coulter's tweet was something like, apparently, if you want to get screwed more than once by Trump, you have to vote for him. And I was like, whoa, that's a big ass burn.
And I will tell you this, and I said it very strongly.
Yeah, he said it. It can happen.
It can happen.
Yeah.
But then, so Ann Coulter obviously is she's highly opinionated, and she's turning on Trump. And then our boy Alex Jones shared in the Slack this afternoon. Alex Jones formally saying he's off the Trump train. He's done.
We're all getting killed here.
That's weird.
Yeah, we're all getting killed here. So I'll take the answer offline. I just thought that it's a very interesting. It's all very interesting, and please, I wish more people would laugh than freak out.
Yeah, I actually listened to Alex Jones today. You could hear Alex Jones struggling with the decisions that Trump is making, with even with the most recent appointment of Bolton, and then this new tax plan that this budget, this one section of the omnibus budget that he's going to sign in, and he had strong opinions about it. He danced around it, but Alex is not all on board anymore, and he believes, in my personal opinion, that Trump is compromised by the New World Order.
Oh, he's got John Bolton in there now, so yeah.
But this is what Alex said to John Bolton.
You want a high-powered uppercut right upside your head, you're about to get it.
That's what he said.
Oh, they're saying I'm on the Trump train. I am not on the Trump train. I'm on the anything but Hillary train. That's what I've always
form
been
of crap.
On. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good, huh?
I have one final story. It'll be quick.
Okay.
It's police. A man arrested after juveniles saw him masturbating in a hospital parking lot.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
This is out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A man was arrested earlier this month after multiple people, including juveniles, saw him masturbating in a Pittsburgh hospital parking lot. According to police, 2 juveniles said they saw 27-year-old Frederick Jackmeyer is his last name.
I just want to throw up.
Saw Frederick Jackmeyer masturbating in his vehicle with the door open in the parking lot of Allegheny General Hospital on the suburban campus.
And just for the record, people, you shouldn't do this, okay?
Well, and I'm wondering now, is it like, does the hospital have any relevance to this story? Is he on his way into the hospital? Is he just now leaving the hospital and they got his dick all fixed up and he can use it again? Like, what's happening?
Maybe it's just a quick stop and pump. We don't know. We don't know what happened. We need more information.
I like the last name Jackmeyer. My pappy was a jacker, and his pappy before him.
Family of Jackmeyers. All right, that's it. We're getting out of here, people. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back on Wednesday. Shabalagoo. Thanks, Joe, for calling in. Thank you, Clown Baby.
That's y'all. Bye, y'all.
Don't worry. Do it. And spit on them while you do it.